Hello students, today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the topic mathematical logic. Let us start from the definition of quantified statement. Now what is quantified statement? Statement involving quantifiers is called quantified statement. Every quantified statement involves a collection and a condition. Here collection stands for the quantifier and the condition stands for an open sentence. In short, it is the combination of open sentence with quantifier. There are two types of the quantifiers we know, existential quantifier and universal quantifier. In statement P, the collection is the set of natural numbers and the condition is being even prime. What is the condition in the statement Q? Here statement Q stands for all natural numbers are positive, and P is the statement there exists an even prime number in the set of natural numbers. A statement quantified by universal quantifier. The symbol for universal quantifier is already denoted on the screen, is true if all objects in the collection satisfy the condition, and it is false if at least one object in the collection does not satisfy the condition. Note, a statement quantified by universal quantifier. Any statement involving the universal quantifier, it becomes true whenever all the members of that collection satisfy the provided condition, and that quantified statement becomes false whenever at least one of the object in the provided collection it disobey the provided condition. Okay, a statement quantified by existential quantifier is true under what condition the existential quantified statement become true? If at least one of the object in the collection satisfy the provided condition. And when does it become false? If none of the object in that collection satisfies that condition. You have to remember these important things. Let us discuss some examples. Example 1. If set A, it is the collection of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Determine the truth value of the following. Number 1. There exists x belong to A such that x minus 4 is equal to 3. This is the existential quantified statement. Just before I told you under what condition the existential quantified statement become true? If at least one of the object in the collection satisfies the provided condition. See, if you are taking the member x is equal to 7 in the set A, okay, x minus 4, replacing x by 7 in this equation, 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. Therefore, x is equal to 7. This member of the set A satisfies the provided condition x minus 4 is equal to 3. And that's why the existential quantified statement becomes true, and hence its truth value is t. Let us move to the second example. For all x belong to A, x plus 1 is greater than 3. Now this is the universal quantified statement. Under what condition it become true? Whenever all the members of the given set A satisfies the provided condition. Okay, if you are getting at least one member in the set A which disobey the condition x plus 1 greater than 3, then it becomes false. Is there any value of x which will be disobey the provided condition? If you are taking x is equal to 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 is greater than 3. Is it possible? No. Let us move to the solution again. For x is equal to 1, x plus 1, that is equal to 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Now 2 is not greater than 3, meaning that the value x is equal to 1. Value x is equal to 1 disobey the condition x plus 1 greater than 3, and that's why the truth value of second statement, quantified statement, it is false. Move to the third example. For all x belong to A, 8 minus x less than 7. Sorry. For all x belong to A, 8 minus x less than 7. Now, if all the members of set A will satisfy the provided condition, then only it become true. If you are taking x is equal to 1, 8 minus 1, 7. Okay, see. There is no x in the set A. Okay, sorry. For x is equal to A, 8 minus x is less than 7. Therefore, the given statement become true for all values of x. And therefore, the truth value of given quantified statement is t. Move to example 4. There exists x belong to A such that x plus 8 is equal to 16. This is the existential quantified statement. If I am getting at least one member in the set A, which when replaced in this equation x plus 8 is equal to 16, and it will be satisfies the provided condition, then only the fourth existential quantified statement become true. See the solution. There is no x in the set A which satisfies x plus 8 is equal to 16. Again go to the set A. If you are taking x is equal to 1, 1 plus 8, 9, not equal to 16. X is equal to 2, 2 plus 8, 10, not equal to 16. In this way, the last value of x you can take 7. 7 plus 8 is equal to 15. That is also not equal to 16. Meaning that none of the member of the set A satisfies the condition x plus 8 is equal to 16. Okay? And that's why the truth value of fourth quantified statement is f. Like this way, you can decide the truth values of quantified statements. Shift to the next title, dual. Definition of the dual. Okay, we are going to discuss. But before that, just look to the terminology required here. We use letters small t and small c to denote tautology and contradiction respectively. For tautology, henceforth we are going to use the symbol small t, and for contradiction, let us use small c. Now, next one. If two statements contain logical connectives like or, and letters t and c, then they are said to be duals of each other if one of them is obtained from the other by interchanging or with and t with c. Look to the definition. What does the definition says? How to obtain the dual of any statement pattern? In that statement pattern, we have to replace the symbol or by and by or, the symbol t by c, and c by t. Only these four conversions you have to keep in mind to obtain the dual of any given statement pattern. Let us discuss some examples. The dual of P or Q. Now in the statement pattern P or Q, the symbol or occur, and according to definition, if you want to obtain the dual of this, replace or by and. So the dual of P or Q is P and Q. Second example, T or P. Now this statement pattern contains T as a tautology and the disjunction or. According to definition, if you want to obtain its dual, replace T by C and replace or by and. So the dual of the statement pattern T or P is C and P. We don't have to make the change anywhere in the statement pattern. Only 4 changes we have to remember. Replace or by and by or, T by C, and C by T. Rest of the part we have to carry as it is. Keep in mind. Move to the third example. T and P. To obtain the dual of this statement pattern, replace T by C and by or. So the dual is C or P. Some short examples we are going to discuss here. Write the duals of each of the following. First example, P and Q or R. Now how will you obtain the dual of this statement pattern? In this statement pattern, replace and by or by and. So see the dual of first statement pattern. P or Q and R. Move to the second one. T or P or Q. Here or means disjunction. It is repeated twice. And it also includes tautology T. So we have to make the changes at 3 places. Replace T by C and each of the or by and. And hence the dual of the second statement pattern is C and P and Q. The simple technique we have to remember. Move to the third one. P and negation of Q or P and Q or negation of R. Now how will you obtain the dual of this statement pattern? Replace and by or by and. There is no T and C. So there is no question of replacing T by C and C by T. Rest of the part we have to keep as it is. See the dual of third statement pattern. P or negation of Q and P or Q and negation of R. Move to the fourth one. P or Q and T. What is the negation of this fourth statement pattern? P and Q or C. Fifth example. P or Q or R logically equivalent to P or Q or R. Now in this equivalence statement, if you want to obtain the dual, replace each or by and hence the dual of the fifth statement pattern becomes P and Q and R equivalent to P and Q and R. Sixth example. P and Q and R. At 2 places there is conjunction. So to obtain the dual, each conjunction we have to replace by disjunction, meaning that replace and by or at each place. So the dual of sixth statement pattern become P or Q or R. Seventh one. P and T or C and negation of Q. Now this statement pattern includes conjunction at 2 places, disjunction, tautology T, contradiction C. So we have to make the changes at how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 places we have to make the change. Replace and by or by and, T by C and C by T. So accordingly, the dual of seventh statement pattern become P or C and T or negation of Q. Move to the next one. That is something about the dual of the statement pattern. Move to the next title. Negation of compound statements. Now we have already learned different types of the compound statements, just as conjunction, disjunction, negation, conditional and biconditional. How to obtain the negation of each of that compound statement, that we are going to learn under this title. First one, negation of conjunction. How to obtain the negation of conjunctional statement? See, when the statement 6 is even and perfect number is false. Under what condition it becomes false? Whenever its negation becomes true. Then question is that what is the negation of this compound statement 6 is even and perfect number? It is so if 6 is not even or 6 is not perfect number. In symbolic form, the given conjunctional statement is P6 is even, can be represented by P, perfect number represented by Q. So its symbolic form is P and Q. And its negational statement, which is given theoretically here, if 6 is not even or 6 is not perfect number, can be represented in the symbolic form negation of P or negation of Q. And hence the negation of conjunctional statement P and Q, it becomes negation of P or negation of Q. In short, negation of conjunction is disjunction of negations. See, if you want to obtain the negation of P and Q, on the right hand side, each of the simple statement P, Q, we are taking its negation. And the bracketed conjunction, it is reverted into disjunction. So like this way, negation of conjunction becomes disjunction of negations. This important symbol we have to remember. It is applicable in problems. Move to the next one, negation of disjunction. When the statement x is prime or y is even, when does it become false? We know that any statement becomes false whenever its negation becomes true. Then question is that what is the negation of this provided disjunction statement? If x is not prime and y is not even. Now the symbolic form of disjunction statement, if P stands for x is prime, Q stands for y is even, the symbol of given disjunction statement will be P or Q, and the negation of that disjunction statement will be negation of P and negation of Q. Hence the negation of the theoretical statement x is prime or y is even, it becomes x is not prime and y is not even. Now in the symbolic form, same can be represented here. Negation of P or Q equivalent to negation of P and negation of Q. See, negation of conjunction, negation of P and Q equivalent to negation of P or negation of Q. And the negation of disjunction, negation of P or Q equivalent to negation of P and negation of Q. Let us discuss one important remark here. Equivalence. Negation of P and Q equivalent to negation of P and negation of Q. And number 2, negation of P or Q equivalent to negation of P and negation of Q. These two equivalences are called De Morgan's laws. I think De Morgan's laws we have already learned in 11th class in set theory. Now De Morgan have been determined same kind of the laws in logic also. Move to the next one. Negation of implication. We know already implicational statement. Implication P implies Q asserts that if P is true statement, then Q is true statement. Okay, in implication, it always suggests us that whenever P become true, Q is already true. No need to verify it. When is an implication a true statement and when it is false? That is the question. Okay, consider the statement. If bakery is open, then I will buy a cake for you. This is the implicational statement. Now question arises, under what condition this implicational statement become false? Okay, clearly the statement becomes false only when the bakery is open but I will not get the cake. The conditional statement. Now here if P represent bakery is open, Q represent I will buy a cake for you, then in symbolic form it can be represent if P then Q. That is same thing as P implies Q, and it is false only in the case that P is true and Q is false. So whenever the given statement is conditional statement is false, we know that its negation become true. Okay, so accordingly the negation of conditional statement if P then Q is P and not Q. Same thing can be represented in the symbolic form. Negation of P implies Q equivalent to P and negation of Q. P and negation of Q becomes the negation of implicational statement P implies Q. Now, negation of biconditional statement. The biconditional statement P double implication Q. It is the conjunction of the two implicational statements. Biconditional statement is the conjunction of two implicational statements. P implies Q, Q implies P. If you are taking the conjunction of these two implicational statements, meaning that if you are joining them by connective AND, that becomes the biconditional statement. So note that P double implication Q is equivalent to P implies Q and Q implies P. Therefore, the conditional statement P double implication Q, it is false. Now when does it become false? Whenever P implies Q is false or Q implies P is false. If at least one of the conditional statements in the given biconditional statement becomes false, then and then only the given biconditional statement becomes false. Therefore, the negation of the statement P if and only if Q is. Now P implies Q is false means what? P and negation of Q is true. Q implies P is false means Q and negation of P is true. So the negation of P if and only if Q is P and not Q or Q and not P. Therefore, in the symbolic form, negation of P double implication Q is equivalent to P and negation of Q or Q and negation of P. Examples. Write the negation of the following. 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 less than 5, or 5 plus 5 equal to 9. Now this is the disjunctional statement. We want to obtain its negation. If you want to obtain the negation of this disjunctional statement, first of all, let us convert it into symbolic form. Let us put the statement P, 3 plus 3 less than 5. The statement Q, 5 plus 5 equal to 9. And hence, the symbolic form of given compound statement is P or Q. Now, just before in the definition, we have already seen how to obtain the negation of disjunction. The negation of disjunction means negation of P or Q is negation of P and negation of Q. So after converting the given compound statement into symbolic form and using the definition, easily we can obtain the negation of given theoretical disjunctional statement. Now whatever symbolic form of negation we got, again convert it into theoretical form. So what is the theoretical form of negation of P and negation of Q? Here P stands for 3 plus 3 less than 5. So negation of P will be 3 plus 3 greater than 5. And 5 plus 5 not equal to 9. Got it? Move to the second example. 7 greater than 3 and 4 greater than 11. This is the conjunctional statement. Now we want to obtain the negation of this conjunction statement. Again we convert it into symbolic form. See, let us put the statement P, 7 greater than 3, statement Q, 4 greater than 11. So the symbolic form of given theoretical statement is P and Q. Now the negation of this symbolic form P and Q, negation of P and Q is equivalent to negation of P or negation of Q. Reduce it into theoretical form again. Negation of P stands for 7 less than 3, or negation of Q stands for 4 less than 11. Example number 3. The number is neither odd nor perfect square. Okay. The number is neither odd nor perfect square. Same thing as the number is not odd and not perfect square. Meaning that this is the conjunctional statement and we want to obtain its negation. To obtain the negation of this conjunctional statement, first of all, extract the simple statements included in it and representing them in the form of P and Q, symbols P and Q, convert the given theoretical statement into symbolic form. See how it can be done. Let P stands for the number is odd, Q stands for the number is perfect square. So the given statement can be represented in the symbolic form as negation of P and negation of Q. This is the symbolic form of given conjunction statement. Now we want to obtain its negation. Take the help of definition of negation of conjunction. We know that negation of conjunction is disjunction of negations. So negation of the conjunctional statement, negation of P and negation of Q becomes P or Q. This is the symbolic form of the negation of given conjunctional statement. Now this negation we have to reduce into theoretical form again. P stands for the number is odd, Q stands for the number is perfect square. So P or Q can be represented in the theoretical form as the number is odd or perfect square. go to the fourth example. The number is an even number if and only if it is divisible by 2. This is the biconditional statement because two simple statements are connected by if and only if. Now we want to obtain the negation of this biconditional statement. Again reduce it into symbolic form first and then using the definition try to obtain its negation. Fourth example. See, let P stands for the simple statement the number is an even. Q stands for the simple statement the number is divisible by 2. Hence, the given theoretical biconditional statement can be represented in the symbolic form as P double implication Q. Now, what is the negation of biconditional statement P double implication Q? P and negation of Q or Q and negation of P. You can take the reference of the definition. Now, after obtaining the negation of this biconditional statement in symbolic form, since the original statement is in the theoretical, of course, we have to represent the answer in theoretical form. So, what is the theoretical form of the statement, resulting statement? P and negation of Q or Q and negation of P. A number is even but not divisible by 2, or a number is divisible by 2 but not even. Example number 2. Write the negations of the following statements. Okay. Now these are some quantified statements. How to obtain their negations? That we are going to discuss one by one. The first example, all natural numbers are rational. Now this is the quantified statement. Here all is the universal quantifier and the natural numbers are rational. This is the open sentence. Note that quantified statement is the combination of quantifier and the open sentence. So how to obtain the negation of the quantified statement? The negation of quantified statement can be obtained using two important steps. In the first step, replace the universal quantifier by existential quantifier or the existential quantifier by universal quantifier. And the second step, take the negation of corresponding open sentence. So the first quantified statement includes the quantifier all and the simple statement natural numbers are rational. So to obtain its negation, replace all by some and the open sentence natural numbers are rational. Take its negation, natural numbers are not rational. So its negation become some natural numbers are not rational. Okay, let us stop today here. Rest of the part we will see next lecture. Shift 10.